Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the midday news on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on StarTimes channel 276. We begin from the FCT, where election activities are underway in Nigeria's capital as voters troop out for the 2026 Area Council elections in Abuja, with mixed reports of early arrival of materials in some polling units and delays in others. Samuel Odi reports.
We're currently here at the polling unit 013 at Asokoro, just a very short distance away from ECOWAS Commission Secretariat here in Abuja. We saw and noticed at exactly 8:21 a.m. electoral materials arrived with INEC officials, and we are accompanied by some security personnel who are here to ensure that everything transpired swiftly as Abuja decides. So we'll give you developing stories as the electoral process is underway. However, situations was different at polling unit 020 in Nyanya Federal Housing, where voters' turnout was described as massive early as at 6 a.m., but election materials were yet to arrive as at 10 a.m. Frustrated but patient voters waited on the trees, calling on electoral officials to expedite deployment to avoid disenfranchisement.
As you can see, this is Federal Housing. This is polling unit 020, and if you as you can see now, this is getting to 10 o'clock now. Up till now, we have not seen our election materials up till now, and other places have started voting now. They are doing accreditation and all of that, but up till now, the whole Federal Housing, as you can see now, there's no election materials, nothing. I'm just coming from the collation center, and in Nyanya, 95% of them now have left the collation center. So we don't know what is going on. And look at time now. And according to the INEC, by now, our election materials are supposed to be in the polling units up till now. So we don't know what is going on, Nigerians. So this is what is happening.
I'm here since 6 o'clock, and so we are told the election is starting by 8:30. So up till now, we haven't seen anything, and there is no any update as it is now. We are just waiting for INEC officials.
Some voters expressed concerns that delays could dampen morale if not urgently addressed, while others maintained confidence that the process would stabilize as the day progressed. Electoral observers say the contest in logistics highlights the need for improved coordinations to ensure uniform commencement across polling units. As voting continues across the area councils, residents are hopeful for a peaceful and credible exercise, while attention now turns to how quickly delayed polling units will be supplied to generate full participation in the democratic process. Samuel Odi for
Roads across the Federal Capital Territory were largely deserted as the 2026 Area Council elections commenced, with movement restrictions leaving commuters stranded and commercial activities halted until 6 p.m., while some polling units recorded early arrivals of the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC officials and party agents. Others experienced delays, with accreditation yet to begin as of mid-morning in several locations visited. Security agencies mounted heavy presence across major districts, including Gwarimpa and Garki, as officials assured residents of safety, while voting eventually commenced at 9 a.m. at Kubwa, polling unit 16. Away from the elections, the federal government will, on February 25, arraign former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai before the Federal High Court in Abuja over alleged cybercrime and breach of national security. Department of State Services (DSS) filed a 3-count charge accusing him of unlawful interception of communications linked to the National Security Advisor and of failing to report alleged security breaches contrary to the Cybercrimes Act 2024 and the Nigerian Communications Act 2023. The charges followed his recent media interview and separate engagement with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) over alleged 440 billion naira corruption allegations during his tenure as governor. The federal government has launched an investigation into the deadly gas incident at a mining site in Company Zurak, Wasi local government area of Plateau State, where at least 33 miners died and over 20 were hospitalized. Officials from the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals Development and Plateau State governments sealed off the site, with preliminary findings pointing to suspected carbon monoxide and sulfide exposure pending technical confirmation. Authorities warned that any company found culpable of safety violations will face stiff sanctions, stressing that mining operations must not endanger human lives. And now to Kogi State, where the Ministry of Education has announced that all public and private schools will resume activities on Monday, 23rd February, following an emergency mid-term break declared over insecurity concerns. The earlier closure, announced on February 3, affected institutions statewide as a preventive security measure. Education authorities have directed school administrators, students, and parents to comply with the resumption schedule as normal activities are set to continue. And now to the health sector, where the Director General Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC) Idris Jide says Nigeria is stepping up its response to rising Lassa fever cases, warning against delayed reporting and concealment of information. He disclosed at a press briefing in Abuja that since the beginning of the year, 1,419 suspected cases have been recorded, with 318 confirmed. Zara Unasir reports.
At the briefing with key stakeholders, the NCDC Director General Jide Idris raised concerns about what he described as a dangerous trend of underreporting of the Lassa fever by some states. He warned that withholding critical data on Lassa fever cases is undermining response efforts, stressing that timely information is key to tracking the disease and saving lives. Dr. Idris revealed that 70 deaths have been recorded so far, alongside 15 infections among health workers, a development he described as deeply concerning.
More importantly, again, the death rate is not acceptable to us, especially again that affecting the healthcare workers. The health workers are supposed to treat these patients. If they have been affected, then it's getting worse.
The Director General announced that the incident management system has been activated to coordinate national response, strengthen state-level actions, and ensure regular emergency operations meetings.
The state governments are supposed to take charge of this in their various states, because these diseases happen in the states and local governments. If they don't alert us, we won't know. And that's why we follow trends, we follow cases and that kind of thing. We tally.
He further disclosed that national rapid response teams have been deployed to 8 states: Bauchi, Ondo, Taraba, Edo, Plateau, Benue, Ebonyi, and Jigawa, with more deployments expected as the situation evolves. The NCDC says containing the outbreak will depend heavily on transparency, rapid reporting, and collective action across all levels. Zahra Nasr, reporting for Global TV.
Now to Ondo State, where Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has dismissed reports of an alleged impeachment plot against his deputy, Dr. Olayide Adelami, describing the claims as unfounded political rumors. Speculations had circulated within political circles, suggesting internal division and a possible move within the State House of Assembly linked to the local power dynamics in our local government area. The governor reaffirmed stability within his administration amidst reports connecting the controversy to broader political alignment within the state. And now to security matters, where troops of Operation Haɗin-kai have arrested suspected Boko Haram collaborators and recovered drones and logistics equipment during the coordinated operations across Adamawa and Borno State. Military authorities confirmed the neutralization of a terrorist commander and the seizure of aerial drone allegedly intended for insurgent weaponization and operational use. The operations form part of intensified efforts to dismantle insurgent supply chains and strengthen security across Northeast. The Federal High Court in Lagos State has ruled that the Nigerian police force acted unlawfully when it declared activist Omoyele Sowore wanted, awarding 30 million naira in damages against the police authorities. Justice Musa Kaki held that the declaration violated constitutional safeguards, noting that a person can only be declared wanted following a valid court warrant and due process. The court described the police action as unconstitutional and an abuse of power, reaffirming protections for free speech and peaceful protest. The Southeast Renewed Hope Agenda has commenced the disbursement of JAMB scholarship to 50,000 candidates across the 5 Southeast states. The program is expected to benefit 10,000 candidates in Imo State alone. Correspondent Amarachi Ibe reports.
Addressing the candidates at the disbursement ceremony, the national coordinator of SERA, Belus Ochukwu said the initiative is designed to eliminate financial barriers, preventing many young people from accessing tertiary education. He noted that supporting students at the entry level of higher learning represents a strategic investment in human capital development of the Southeast region.
This scholarship initiative aligns perfectly with our zonal aspirations. President Tinubu, in his wisdom, has made education a cornerstone of Renewed Hope agenda. From the student loan scheme to infrastructure revamp in our schools, his administration is weaving a tapestry of progress that includes every region, every tribe, every student, and every child.
In his remarks, the Imo State coordinator of SERA, Justice Egu, described the scholarship scheme as a practical intervention in response to the current economic challenges faced by families. He urged beneficiaries to remain focused, disciplined, and committed to the academic pursuit in order to justify the confidence reposed in them.
To the intending beneficiaries of this noble gesture, the sky is your limit. We urge you to leave no stone unturned by making sure you meet the standards required by our nation's tertiary institution in your forthcoming examination, and ensure that the noble objective of this program is achieved.
Some of the beneficiaries expressed gratitude to the organizer for the support, pledging to make judicious use of the opportunity to advance their education.
I appreciate our Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his great work to us. What we expect isn't what we saw. We saw more than what we expected.
Stakeholders says beyond the registration support, sustained mentorship and mentoring will be crucial to ensuring the program delivers long-term educational impact in Imo State and across the Southeast. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe reporting for Global TV News.
The Federal Ministry of Works has concluded its media tour and commissioning of emergency intervention projects in Benue State as part of ongoing infrastructure efforts under the Renewed Hope agenda. Kabir Hassan reports.
The tour covered several strategic road corridors across the state, including the Katsina-Ala-Takum, Katsina-Ala-Kalaba, Old Makodi-Wukari, Otukpo-Oweto, and Makodi-Otukpo 9th Mile Enugu roads. At the Katsina-Ala-Takum road, the Federal Controller of Works in Benue State, Engineer Mukael Daladi, provided an update on progress, noting that the construction has advanced to binder and sub-base levels, with hydraulic structures underway.
Of this work, we were confronted with a lot of challenges. These challenges includes security issue, the compensation of affected structure on the road corridor. However, due to the commitment of this particular administration, all these challenges have come to pass.
Emergency flood mitigation works were also commissioned at the Oshungo and Atihi along Katsina-Ala-Kalaba Road, where a 100-meter line drain has been constructed to address persistent flooding that previously disrupted traffic and economic activities. Engineering bodies, including the Nigerian Society of Engineering and Current, commended the quality and pace of work. The tour also featured inspection of the dualization of Makodi-Otukpo 9th Mile Enugu Road, a nationally significant corridor that has suffered years of deterioration. According to the ministry, progress on the project now stands at about 48%, following resolution of right-of-way and utility relocation challenges.
that we have already achieved in less than 2 years a very big achievement and a very big development.
The team also visited the Bukuru Bridge project linking Benue and Taraba State, where renewed momentum is expected following compensation approvals by the state government. Officials say the project reflects the federal government commitment to restoring critical infrastructure, improving connectivity, and stimulating economic growth across Benue State. The ministry maintains that the nationwide media tour aims at strengthening public confidence and showcasing ongoing efforts to deliver durable and impactful infrastructure. Kabir Hassan reporting for Global TV News.
At least 50 people have been killed and several women and children abducted after armed men attacked Tungandute village in Zamfara State in an assault that lasted several hours. Local sources said the attackers moved across communities in motorcycles, shooting residents, burning buildings and evading security despite prior warnings reportedly issued about their movement. The incident underscores worsening insecurity in parts of Nigeria, raising fresh concerns about the responsiveness of security forces. You're watching the live broadcast of the Midday News. The Midday News continues after this weather forecast plus business, foreign and sports stories. On the other side of this break, please stay with us.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the weather forecast. As we continue observing the Ramadan and Lenten season, temperatures are taking a noticeable dip. And it's especially cooler at night, so don't be caught off guard. Keep your clothing warm. Now, the atmosphere is still dominated with dust haze. From the north down to the inland cities of the south, moderate dust haze is expected, and visibility is reduced to 2 to 5 kilometers. If you're sensitive to dust particles, please take necessary precautions and use a nose mask when stepping outdoors. Along the coast, cloudy skies with sunshine intervals are expected during the morning hours, but later during the day, thunderstorms are expected to develop along parts of Bayelsa Rivers, Delta, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom states. That's the forecast for Saturday. I am Theodora Itum. Thank you for watching.
You back and now to business, where the African Development Bank and the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture have signed a $16.61 million grant agreement to launch the third phase of the Technologies for African Agricultural Transformation Program. The initiative aims to scale climate resilient farming practices, modernize seed system and strengthen collaborations across research institutes, government and private stakeholders. Officials say the program, financed through the African Development Fund, will accelerate sustainable food production and enhance resilience against climate shocks across vulnerable African countries. And now to the foreign scene. A Tunisian court has sentenced Member of Parliament Ahmed Saidani to 8 months in prison over social media posts mocking President Kais Saied following deadly floods. The lawmaker was convicted under the Telecommunications Law prohibition harm through online communication, a move criticized by human rights groups as part of a broader crackdown on dissent. The ruling comes amid heightened political tensions in Tunisia following a heavy rainfall that claimed at least 5 lives and renewed scrutiny of presidential authority. And now to the United States, where President Donald Trump has launched a scathing attack on 6 Supreme Court justices after they struck down his administration's global tariff, describing the ruling as a deeply disappointing one and accusing the majority of lacking courage. The court held that the president presidents do not have inherent authority to impose sweeping tariffs without congressional backing, prompting Trump to question the judgment and suggest that the court may have been influenced by foreign interests, though he provided no evidence. While praising Justices Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, and Brett Kavanaugh for dissenting, Trump criticized both Republican and Democratic appointees in the majority and vowed to explore alternative methods to sustain his trade policies. The United Kingdom government is considering legislation to remove Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor from the royal line of succession amid ongoing investigation and political pressure. Defense Minister Luke Pollard confirmed discussions with Buckingham Palace, stating that preventing Andrew from being a heartbeat away from the throne is under consideration, though any action would follow the conclusion of police inquiries. The proposed move would require an Act of Parliament and approval from the Commonwealth realms, where the British monarch remains head of state, marking a rare constitutional intervention in royal succession matters. And now talking sports, the Nigeria Football Federation has confirmed that the Super Eagles will participate in a Four Nations Invitation Tournament in Amman, Jordan, during next month's international window. Nigeria will open against Iran on March 27 at the Amman International Stadium before facing host Jordan on March 31, while Costa Rica completes the lineup of participating teams. The tournament offers the three-time African champions an opportunity to test squad depth and tactical adjustment ahead of upcoming competitive fixtures. Still talking sports, the National Sports Commission Chairman Shehu Diko has expressed optimism that Nigeria's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualification hopes may yet be revived pending a decision by FIFA's independent disciplinary bodies. The Nigerian Football Federation filed a petition alleging that DR Congo fielded ineligible players during the African playoffs final, though officials insist no ruling has been communicated and reports claiming a favorable verdict are false. While acknowledging that preparations plan have moved on, Diko stated that potential outcomes, including match forfeiture or sanctions, remain within FIFA's purview. That's it on the Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now displayed on your screen using a Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim, saying a very big thank you for watching.